Sup lads, it's your boy Bandana-Boi. And Germany versus the Ivory Coast ends in a 2-1 win for Germany. The only reason they won was because of that striker Undav. What an amazing performance by him. He was already coming off having 1 goal and 2 assists in the game against Curacao, and in this game he single-handedly saved them and won them the game. So let's get into the game. Heading into this game, I expected Germany to be heavy favorites. Even the odds were all favoring Germany, and understandably so. They won their last game against Curacao 7-1. Doing that against any team that has qualified to the World Cup is a genuine phenomenal feat in and of itself. Seeing them win against Curacao made me think that they were in hot form. Entering the World Cup, Germany had 10 straight wins, not a single draw in their last 10 games. And the game before that, they didn't even lose, they drew. The momentum was on their side, and the Ivory Coast must have been at least a little intimidated by what they saw at Curacao. When they got on the pitch, they did not look intimidated at all. That first half was all the Ivory Coast. I've talked about before, but the problem with some of these teams is just that they don't have a proper number 9. The build-up play was so good. The passes are so good. The chemistry is there. The attack and play is there. The speed, the technique. All of it is amazing. Especially this game, the attackers from the Ivory Coast side, their dribbling was mouth-watering. You would think that each one of them took a class with Prime Messi, because they weren't fumbling under pressure, and they were moving in and out of tight spaces in such a smooth way. I expected Germany to be much more aggressive. Even in the Curacao game, if they didn't have to be too aggressive because the team against them is just a little less experienced than them, I still expected them to come into this game dominating possession for the most part. And even if they weren't dominating position, I was expecting some heavy pressure from all the players. But I didn't see that. Germany looked comfy in the beginning, just letting their opponents have the ball. And initially, I thought, okay, they're preserving their energy. That's a-okay. However, as the first half went on, you reached the halfway mark and Germany are still not doing anything. They're letting Ivory Coast dictate the tempo, and they aren't exactly following with them. And then the goal happens in the 30th minute. Amad Diallo, he shoots it, Neuer saves it, and in what was a bit of a scramble, Kessié is there, he gets the rebound, and he scores. This is his 16th goal for the Ivory Coast, so congrats to him. At that point, I was absolutely surprised. I did not expect the Ivory Coast to go up against Germany. And it was almost like, are they gonna do this? Are they gonna beat them? Are they gonna draw against them? Because throughout the first half, Germany had no business being in this game. The Ivory Coast had every right to go into the half leading because they just played the better style of football. And then the second half comes on, and I need to give props to Julian Nagelsmann because in the first 20 minutes of the second half, they didn't do much at all. But then he used his substitutions. He got Undav, Amiri, and Luling in the game. And goodness gracious, were those 3 of the best substitutions he could have ever made. Within 5 to 10 minutes, Amir and Undav literally combined to make the first goal. Amir with a great cross, and for once Germany convert, because they had made chances, but their players were not converting them. They looked shaky in the box. Their first touch wasn't good, and they couldn't get their footing going to score a goal. At that point, it's 1-1, and the story of the game was that the first half was fully for the Ivory Coast, and the second half, up until that point, was for Germany. But don't get it twisted. This wasn't a domination by Germany in the second half. It's not like the Ivory Coast gassed out. No, they were still creating chances, and there was a chance on the left side. I'm not sure if it was Amad Diallo. That might have just cost him the game. It was like in the 85th minute. He was through on goal, but he was hesitant, and he took an extra touch. The defender came there, and the attack got shut down real quick. I thought there was extremely biased refereeing, and he wasn't blowing his whistle whatsoever, no matter what happened to a player. But in the end, thankfully, I don't think that changed the result since none of the calls they weren't for penalties or really aggressive tackles. And to end the game in the 4th minute of 6 minutes of injury time, Mecha, I'm not sure how you say his name, he drills a pass to Undav. Beautiful touch by the man. Undav touches a ball that's probably going 100 kilometers per hour on his foot and stops it, turns, shoots, and scores past Fofana. It was diabolical. Fair play to him, because again, he is the only reason Germany currently aren't in the headlines for losing to the Ivory Coast after what they did to Curacao. Congrats to Germany, and extremely tough luck to the Ivory Coast. I think they absolutely deserved a draw. During the first half, I think they deserved to win the game. But I will say during the second half, the tide shifted and Germany did a comeback. But I still think it was 50-50, And unfortunately for the Ivory Coast, in additional time, Germany convert and they take away with the win. This was a surprising game. We all expected Germany to come away with the victory pretty easily against the Ivory Coast, but they put up a great challenge. And now, for both teams, and Germany will probably finish first and Ivory Coast will finish second. With that being said, lads, tell me what were y'all's thoughts on the game. I appreciate y'all, I love y'all, and that's it for me, lads. Tschüss!